This is another video within AvenueX's series of videos looking at specific Chinese actors. Today, we are going to look at a very special actor, personally to me, but I think also to a lot of people, Chen Kun. Hi, you're watching AvenueX, where junkie on good storytelling shares her thoughts, knowledge, and occasional weird ideas on stories and how they're told. If you've been watching my previous videos in this series, you probably have guessed that I am talking about Chen Kun this time. Zhou Xun and Chen Kun, they're kind of packaged together. And we're gonna talk about that later for sure in this video. Chen Kun, as one of the most famous actor currently working in Chinese drama and film land, was born on February the 4th, 1976, in the city Chongqing, which is also my hometown. I didn't find something out about him until very late, which is he went to a middle/high school in Chongqing that was literally 5 minutes walk from where I used to live with my family. It's right across the street of one of the biggest bulk food selling market in Chongqing. That's multiple story, huge building. And since I went there every week pretty much when I was little with my mom to buy stuff, I have walked past his school gate numerous times. The sad thing is when I had a very brief encounter in real life with him, I didn't know that. Had I known, I would have asked him whether he is aware of a noodle shop that's around that area. That is still today, in my opinion, the best Chongqing style noodle little diner place that is no longer there anymore. Anyway, that's some irrelevant but quite funny information. Chen Kun's childhood school years weren't the easiest for young men. When he was in high school, he already had to work a lot of jobs on the side to support himself. He picked singing at bars to earn extra money. In many of his later interviews, he has mentioned multiple times that he is super grateful for a teacher that he was lucky enough to come across back then. The lady's name is Wang Mei Yan, and she is an instructor and singer from Chongqing Opera House, who taught him how to sing properly, how to perform on stage, gave him all the instructions and professional advices for how to be a singer. So although he's not the best student at academic studies, he really sharpened his skills in his teenager years of singing to the point that he managed to pass the very difficult test for entering one of the most prestigious performing troupe in China called Dongfang Goutuan, Oriental Performing Troupe. At the age of 19, he passed the exam and got in as a singer. And can you guess what type of songs he is responsible for in this performing troupe? Indian songs, because he has a natural darker skin tone than most of the Chinese people, and he does have a little bit Indian facial feature. So the leaders of the troupe is like, you're made perfectly for singing Indian songs. So he went ahead and learned many Indian songs. You can listen to that a little bit here in this clip. Hopefully there wouldn't be any copyright problem. Since I don't understand the language, if any of you lovely people do understand, leave a comment below and let me know if his pronunciation is good enough. Although he didn't spend a long time working at Dongfang Goutuan, it was a good job that he got, that earned him money, that got him into the Beijing sort of performance and entertainment circle. Only a year after that, in 1996, he managed to got into Beijing Film Academy as a student of the acting major. He actually was #1 in the entry exam, and his classmates are some of the most famous drama and television people these days in China, such as Zhao Wei and Huang Xiaoming. Before he even graduated from his 4 years program at Beijing Film Academy, he had already been quite a few different productions, film, television. The one that really made him widely known was the 2000 television series 相雾相雨又相风, Love Story in Shanghai, where he leads it with Zhou Xun that I've mentioned in Zhou Xun's video as well. 1 year after his graduation, he signed with Rosette, the production company that later produced a lot of his works and also became officially a colleague of Zhou Xun's. 2 years later, in 2003, a television drama that he leads aired and officially made him a big name in the drama land as one of the most promising, most well-known young actor of his age range, 金粉世家, the story of a noble family, where he leads this drama with Dong Jie, Liu Yifei. I can honestly tell you, when that drama aired, it was the most popular drama in China. Everywhere you look, every shop you go to, the BGM that the place would be playing comes from this drama. He plays this Republic of China setting, one of the most powerful political families' most treasured son. Pretty much like a Republic of China setting version of the very famous Chinese classic literature, Hong Lou Meng. And the love story between his character Jin Yanxi and Dong Jie's character Leng Qingqiu was something that was so phenomenally popular. A lot of the girls would think Jin Yanxi is the ideal boyfriend and Leng Qingqiu is the ideal girlfriend back then. Obviously now if you look at the drama, it's quite outdated in all kinds of ways, but it was explosive. It literally established all the main cast members' future careers for years to come. Starting from 2000, when he graduated from Beijing Film Academy, the first decade of his career is just leading roles after leading roles in film and in television. And obviously because of how good looking he is, he also has many Yanfen appearance fans who are even till today considering him being one of the best looking actors in Chinese television history. I'm definitely not gonna go through each and every production he's done. There are literally too many. I'll just mention a couple of roles and a couple of productions that really left a strong impression on me and probably are also the most well-known of all his works to the general public. Apart from the two characters and the two dramas that made him really popular, I've already mentioned. The more recent one is the 2018 Tiansheng Changge, The Rise of the Phoenix, where he leads the drama with Nini. It's a huge, long drama, and I have to confess, even to today, I haven't watched the entire thing. But that is a very high-quality production, and it was literally 18 years, almost 2 decades, after he graduated from acting school. And you can tell he hardly ever aged. He has some kind of magic gene. In the filmland, he has been in both very commercial productions as well as very independent art house type of movie. And in both fields, he had long-term collaboration with the actress Zhou Xun because they both signed to the same agency for quite a long period, and also they're very close friend in real life. To the point a lot of people have fantasized them being the most perfect romantic couple actor-actress in Chinese dramaland. People are like, there's no way you two are not a couple. It is so funny that they always play lovers in all kinds of productions that they work together on. But in life, they're friends to the point that they kind of disregard each other's gender. Their friendship and relationship is such a unique one in the entertainment business. While they absolutely sell romantic love on screen and totally functioning as the tightest buddies in life. In the film world, till today, probably Chen Kun's most famous character is still the character he played in the 2011 wuxia film, 龙门飞甲. Flying Sword of the Dragon Gate. He played this very theatrical, very strong character, eunuch, of one of the most infamous organization in China's history. Basically imperial spies that just goes around and kill people. But him with the very strong makeup, the beautiful profile line, the gorgeous clothing, and the absolutely theatrical but engaging performance of his character made everyone, even till today, often calls him with a nickname that they've made for this role, Changhua. Literally means the flower of the organization that he's leading. When you look at his career, you'll find it's very interesting. The first decade, so from 2000 to 2010, 11, he was super busy. He was in so many different things, dramas, films. But after that, into the second decade, the works he had produced during those 10 years reduced greatly in number. This is definitely not due to the fact that he doesn't get offers. It's pretty much that he has moved his interest and focus on other things. He was signed under Rosette as well as Zhou Xun for I think a decade or so before he left the company. They didn't break on bad terms. And my very brief encounter with him happened during the years that he was at Rosette, when Rosette was producing the drama Hong Lou Meng that came out in 2010. During the pre-production time, I was at the company, so I came across him once when he got in talking to the director and producer. So that's what I've mentioned earlier in this video, which was like, had I known at the time, I would have asked him about the noodle shop. After he left this company, he has definitely reduced the amount of work that he's put out in film and drama, but then he didn't stop doing other insane amount of work. He is definitely a person who has a lot of interest in different things. For example, singing, which was the original job that he's done that made him break into the sort of entertainment business. He had 3 albums, although none of them are super popular or well-known. If you go and listen to those songs, you can definitely tell, even compared to professional singers who are working as singers today, his singing ability definitely holds up to the standard of people who can actually pass the exam to go into that very prestigious troupe. He also loves writing. He has published up till this point 9 different books. He's also very deeply involved in a lot of charity work. One of the most famous event that he has spearheaded and for almost a decade now is the 行走的力量, the power of walking, literal translation, where he organizes a group of people who would trailblaze in incredibly difficult places such as Tibet, to raise awareness of environment, to raise money for charity. Even though in his second decade of his career, he has greatly reduced the number of film televisions he's done, his fame, his popularity, people's impression of him, and him occupying that position in the industry never for one moment wavered at all. He's still today the top tier, the first line actor in China. And for the years that he didn't do any work, nobody ever forgot about him. This is definitely due to a lot of good karmas he's built up in his career, and some people are just made for the camera. He's definitely an artist that once you are aware of his existence, right, you never quite forget about him. In 2017, he started a acting studio with Zhou Xun called 山下学堂, the Dome Studio, where they would train young actors and actresses with short-term programs. In 2018, he finally started his own artist agency and production kind of company with Zhou Xun, and later joined by Shu Qi, called 东升未来 K Artists, so officially becoming a boss of his own. His most recent cinematic work is the film that's currently still in cinema in China, 侍神令, the Yin-Yang Master, where he also leads it with Zhou Xun. I have heard very mixed review about this film, but most people would rant about the plot or other stuff, never about these two's acting. Everyone would agree that they have done a great job as actor and actress of a film. Whether the production itself got famous or popular or well received at all never impacted the fact that people don't have problems with these two's acting. In many ways, I think after 2 decades of very successful career in drama and in film in China, Chen Kun has kind of turned himself into a brand, an artist's image that is successful at doing their professional job, but at the same time having many different facades, doing many different interesting things, who expresses very freely of his opinions of everything, and who still maintain that beautiful, charismatic look after 2 decades of hard work in the industry. And he doesn't really need to be super refined or beautiful or super self-aware of his appearance in any way. He just stands there and people randomly take a photo and everybody just exclaims, "Ah, he's so attractive." That is definitely beyond the simple outward appearance of him. It has a lot to do with his years of experience, what he has gone through in life, the type of beautiful and matured person who just oozes charisma. The only thing that all the paparazzi and entertainment people are quite hung up on is the fact that he has a son who is now already an adult. He always claimed this is his real son, you know, my blood son, but nobody ever found out who is the mother. Or maybe within the industry there's some kind of silent secret that even people know, they never go and tell. So it's definitely one of the biggest mystery in Chinese dramaland. And I find it's actually really entertaining because he never shies away from the fact that he has a son, and he posts stuff about his sons throughout those 2 decades of the kid growing up, now becoming quite muscly young man. And at the same time, people kind of have given up on finding out who is the mother. And there's so many different types of stories about where the kid came from, whether he is the real father, who is the mother, and yet nobody ever gave him really trouble for it. So it's a very unique situation about Chen Kun because of who he is, you know, even with something as big as you have a son who just doesn't have a mother, the entertainment business and the general public still never gave him trouble for it. Talking about being a very special star. One last piece of very interesting information about him is, I remember very clearly, many years ago, I watched one of his interviews and he mentioned when he was younger, he was very unhappy about his name, Chen Kun. Kun is the name of the major 8 different graphs in I Ching that represents Earth and represents the absolute female. On the opposite, it will be Qian, which represents the absolute male, the sky. So when he found out when he was younger, he was very unhappy. He was like, I'm a big man. How can you name me with a character that means Earth, means female? So he personally changed his Kun into a different Kun when he writes down the names for his homeworks and stuff. But obviously, he didn't succeed. His given name stayed with him. And in China, there's a common belief that your name is really important to you. Parents usually would do calculations, will go to consulting people when they name children to make sure it's auspicious, to make sure it's a good name that will match this child's birth kind of chart, and it will make sure that he or she has a really good life. And now when you look at Chen Kun, when he's running towards his 50-year-old mark, having achieved so much, having secured a position in the entertainment business in China as this very unique, very memorable, kind of never got challenged and will always hold that position actor. I think he should find himself lucky to have this name that definitely worked very well. And thank heavens that he didn't change it when he was younger just because he thinks it's too feminine. So that will conclude my video on Chen Kun, the actor, that when I was very, very young, I have definitely fangirled about, and who also happens to be my Laoxiang, coming from the same city. There was a period in my life I found consolation in the fact that I know for sure, for quite a big chunk of years in my life, I was actually physically in extreme close proximity to him when he was going to that high school and when I was going to that market every week with my mother. Thank you for watching AvenueX. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.